Morning all. The World Blitz tournament finished with Iranian winning it, Magnus Carlsen coming second. Nakamura, who wasn't playing last year, he played this year, and I thought he would give a lot of the top players a very good fight if he played in such a tournament, even though it's all like GMs, because he's the king of the ICC. I played him once on the ICC and he smashed me up. And one of the game scores is incomplete, but the other between Carlsen and Hikaru is available. So Carlsen playing white. This is fascinating because I played a French defence. It's absolutely fascinating for me. So we have the line with knight c3, knight f6, provoking white to close the centre. And now this f4 line, which of the c5, knight f3, knight c6. I've been playing this loads and loads of times myself recently against an IM in Blitz on one of the servers, and I've been playing the move queen b6, and there's an idea here, an old idea of a piece sack in this variation, which I was winning and losing, probably losing more than I was winning against an IM in 5-minute chess. So that's a very interesting, very theoretical piece sack line. Okay, with black playing for bishop a6 a lot of the time, but it's interesting. Hikaru, which I'm going to refer to from now on, he played actually the move a6, which has a lot of logic actually, to gain space on the queen side. No unnecessary sacking of a piece, just increasing the spatial advantage. Playing where white's already got pressure in the centre, complementing that c5. It's logical also, I think, looking at this game, the beauty of it is black's aiming to fianchetto both bishops the way he played it. Fantastic stuff. Really, from an aesthetic point of view, I really enjoyed this game, because after a3 there isn't a mild move, bishop b7. There's a hyper-aggressive move to try and undermine white's centre from all sides, not just d4, but also this pawn is biteable with this fearsome move g5. So Hikaru had lost the first game to Carlsen. He's really trying to fight back with the black pieces. What a fantastic move to do that with. So undermining the white centre. White dare not play knight g5 because CD and his centre's coming crashing down. He played actually FG though, with a similar effect as well. The centre being under real pressure, especially e5 coming up. So C takes d4. In fact, e5 is immediately lost now. Knight c takes e5. So maybe Magnus is relying on f-file pressure, f7 being weak. So bishop d3. And then we see one of the bishops being fianchettoed, and after castles we see the other. This mighty knight on e5 protects f7 at the moment. Are these weaknesses exploitable? There's some square weaknesses, an isolated pawn obviously, or is black's diagonal bishops pointing like that? Are they going to give black a really good position? Well, immediately after knight ce2, I really like this next move, knight g4. Because if this bishop is taken away from that diagonal, this piercing bishop here, is going to be under more pressure. If this bishop dared to move queen b6, e5, looks nasty already. So Magnus played king h1. He probably didn't like losing his dark square bishop. And now, okay, there's some dangerous threats. The king's still in the centre. Things like knight f5 are threatened. So this next move, queen e7, also prepares the possibility of castling queenside. So we have knight g3. A nice idea, to come to h5, hit the bishop, come to f6. So bishop e5 is played here, anticipating maybe knight h5, blocking also a bit the e-file from the queen, pointing also at white's king. Okay, so the move c3, and now another hyper-aggressive move, not bothering about the h-pawn, just going for the g-pawn. Okay, let white take that if he wants. He's going to castle queenside maybe and try and get at the white king, with the other rook maybe coming to h8 after castling queenside. Okay, so h4 is played after some thought. You can see actually the video of this game, video footage. I'll give you the link in the description so you can actually watch the video, you know, them making the actual moves. But there was a pause on this move. I don't think Magnus liked weakening his king. Hard decision to make. And now another little undermining move, h6. Of course the pawn can't be taken. g3 will be under fire. Knight gf5, a whole piece sack. Is it really, really scary? The black king's still in the centre. Maybe f7's the target as well. But Naka took. And now queen c5. It doesn't seem that much of an issue at the moment. Because black will be gaining a tempo, a critical tempo, if the queens get exchanged, hitting d3, which is exactly what happened. But knight takes h6 is played anyway, because it's hitting the rook, it's hitting f7. Okay, but the critical tempo is still there. White has to do something at some point about this bishop being attacked. Whoops! We'll go back to this position, sorry, rook h8. Okay, so if knight takes f7 now, there's rook takes h4 check, and then knight takes d3 will protect the bishop, or first even bishop h2 check, then knight takes d3, and that's why, you know, Magnus does have to move his bishop, I believe. Bishop c2, and our beautiful move undermining again White's pawn chain. How many undermining moves in one game? You know, c5, g5, you know, now there's this f6. So rook ae1, and now a lovely exchange sack, because black Naka's ahead in material, so he exchanges to get rid of a lot of the threats. Another nice centralizing move. He's calming down the white counterplay with this mass centralization, bringing his rook now with a simple supporting f6, also bringing the rook now to h8. So rook f5, rook h8. This looks like artificial stuff just to protect the pawn. The pawn's not really that dangerous, but the king's coming as well, potentially to try and trap that rook. So g4 protecting the rook. Okay, bishop f4 threatening to win that pawn. Okay, bishop b3. Magnus is in severe time pressure now. I think the game's like 3 minutes with a 1 second increment, and he's down to, like, you know, about 12 to 15 seconds here. Now after this bishop b3, this is very interesting. So if king g6, well, actually that wouldn't be threatening the rook anyway, but in this position, you know, I mean, the pawn was attacked, so this counter attack against d5, but it's met with this startling little move, knight d5, knight d2, because if bishop takes check, takes, I believe knight f3 check. So really Magnus is probably annoyed by that. He defends his f3 square, but he's losing that h6 pawn as well now. So the pawn situation, it's you know, Magnus is like a pawn up, but you know, there's heavy material advantage for black here. The three pieces represent, you know, a significant material advantage over the rook, but knight and bishop for the rook, and it's the two bishops as well. So these two bishops from the start of the game, which Naka had, and after bishop c2, Magnus has overstepped the time limit. He went to 0-0 on playing that move. Okay, exciting game, exciting. It shows that Nakamura can hold his best, hold with the best in the world, even the current World Blitz champion. So this was a fantastic win, I thought. A great win for French defence enthusiasts. It shows that in this line you don't have to go for the speculative piece sack line, queen b6. This move a6, nice idea, very aggressive intention still. Just simply, you know, thematically sort of fianchetto both bishops. You know, go on the queen side, attack, go on the king side with g5, smash up the white centre, especially e5. No worries about f6 or knight g3 to h5. This game shows that, you know, there's enough counterplay for black. Queen e7, bishop e5, nice centralising move. The two bishops are working wonderfully in this game, but it's the undermining operations which I think are really, really cool. So like h6. Okay, Magnus sacked a piece of, you know, and it proved to be a bit unsound, but it was through accurate play that black, well, he had adequate counter play after this h4. It's generating a lot of counterplay. White's king is exposed all the time in this game, it seems. So f6, it's just nice exchange sack here, stabilizing black's position in the center, and just progressively going to win that to h6. And now this lovely knight d2, an opportunity, tactical opportunity for knight f3, and also attacking the bishop and an f3 square. So lovely stuff. So now clear material advantage, only a pawn down for black, and then the two minor pieces for the rook. And also, you know, white still has weaknesses around, and in this final position, actually, although Magnus, if he had played bishop c2, which I'm going to have to recheck in the video, sorry about this, but there appears to be knight f3 check in any case. In fact, I'm just going to pause this recording and add some thoughts now. I'm going to recheck the video for the last position. Okay, here's the story. Checking the video, it seems Naka had pointed knight f3 as though he was going to play that, but also pointed at the clock to show that after bishop c2, which was obviously a clear blunder, that also Magnus had overstepped the time limit. So he was about to play knight f3, just forking king and rook. So let's have a look at this game in overview and summary. I think it represents pure intuition, raw intuition. Compared to a lot of the more clinically analysed games, you can really follow the logic, the beautiful logic which is represented, which is essentially, I think, the double fianchetto idea. It's a common idea, just you know, undermining white's centre in all directions, but also, you know, aiming for this double fianchetto. So I think it's just wonderful stuff, and you know, it adds a bit of sanity for me, because I'm always playing g5 in the French when I have the opportunity. I like that undermining stuff to show that, you know, Naka's playing the French like this as well. It's kind of validation as well that, you know, it is indeed a good concept. But what he's added to it is this idea of aesthetics. You know, the bishops both pointing at the centre and then going logically, of course, for the white king now. With the black king, you know, not committed to casting in this game at all, and in fact didn't castle. Just stepped in with king e7, you know, shielded by knight and bishop in the centre, and that knight supported by the fianchetto here. So it was kind of, I found this a lovely game, but okay, Naka didn't do as well overall as Magnus in the tournament, and we'll have a look at some other Blitz games as well in the tournament, because I just think it's nice intuition when you see the grandmasters, you know, with such low time on their clocks, you know, playing Blitz. It's very interesting, I think. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.